So in today's video, we're gonna be lowering the 720 right behind me right here. When I purchased this truck probably like 6 months ago, as soon as I bought the truck, I got home and I ordered some 4-inch blocks, and I just never got time to install them. In this video, I'm gonna be showing you guys how to install lowering blocks and adjust your front torsion bars in order to lower the truck for 30 bucks. I know that sounds crazy, but yes, 30 bucks is gonna get this truck sitting just like my old truck, if you guys remember that tan truck. Now, I do want to mention that when you lower a truck the way I'm lowering it with lowering blocks, especially for 30 bucks, it's not going to ride like a dream, and it's probably not going to be as comfortable as your truck currently is. I know there's going to be people saying, well, that's the wrong way to do it. It's not really the wrong way to do it, it's just a cheap way to do it. If you really want to lower your truck, you can do bags and, obviously you could spend, if you have unlimited money, then you're going to have a low truck that rides nice. But most of the time when you lower a truck, a car, anything pretty much that you lower, it's never going to ride the same as it did factory. With that being said, this truck is already lowered 2 inches and it's sitting on the bump stop, so it's pretty much as stiff as it can be. So lowering it 4 inches won't really make it any more stiffer. So I do want to quickly mention that when you do lower a truck like this, it's not going to ride super comfortable, and especially if you're used to driving in like a Lexus or like a luxury car like a Mercedes, and you hop into a Slam Mini truck, you're definitely going to think it's going to ride like crap. Like 10 out of 10, you're going to agree with me. But if it's your first truck, or if you're just used to driving lowered cars that are super bouncy and stuff, then you won't mind this and it'll be comfortable for you. I know when I was 14 and I had my Slam Mini truck, my tan one, everyone would talk shit saying that it rode super bad, it's going to ride bad. And honestly, I didn't mind it at all because at the time I was young and I didn't care about it. But now that I'm a little older and I've driven in some more comfortable cars, like my Lexus, for example, my daily, that car's really comfortable. So now lowering this, I know I'm probably gonna regret it, but I don't really, care that it's gonna drive that bad, because like I was saying, the rear is already sitting on the bump stops because it's lower 2 inches. So it's not gonna ride that much worse than what it already does. So that's why I'm just gonna go balls out and then slam it. Alright guys, so right here I have the blocks. These are the 4-inch tapered blocks. You can get these on eBay for 30 bucks. I'll try to find the link where I got these. But the company that makes them is airslamit.com. So if you guys want to look them up. The kit comes with new U-bolts, super long, so I might need to cut these a little bit. Hardware, so that's pretty dandy. And then obviously your 2 blocks. I already opened that one, and then there's this one other one right here. I'm going to be starting with the rear, since the rear is a little harder than the front. The front is just literally 2 bolts, and you just loosen them and then it drops the truck. I know that's not really the full science of it, but that's pretty much what it comes down to be. Now the rear, there's 4 nuts that you have to remove on each side, so 8 total. Once you do that, you're going to jack up the axle and keep the truck where it's at, or the frame where it's at, and you're going to slip those in between the axle and the leaf spring. So essentially what these are, they're just spacers, but a lot of people call them lowering blocks just because spacers doesn't sound as cool, and spacers sounds more like for the wheels. But essentially what this is doing is it's spacing the axle from the leaf spring and spacing it up 4 inches, 3 inches, 2 inches, wherever you want it. And the higher your axle sits up into the, let's say the bed, or into the frame, the lower the truck gets. Don't forget to chalk your front wheels right there. So instead of just filming everything, I decided to just do a time lapse so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing, because making a video of everything would be too long because you don't really need everything. But when you remove this bottom bracket, like you guys saw, since there is a shock on there, the shock pushes it out. So what you have to do is just loosely put those U-bolts in, put the nuts on them, and then tighten them slowly. And there's a little bolt sticking out at the bottom of the leaf springs that has to go into this little piece right here. So when that's sticking out, it's not gonna line up, so you have to make it pretty tight just so there's tension on it. So you gotta tighten these down here. And then what I always do is I like to use a mallet and just smack it forward until it slides into the cup, and then it'll be loose, and then you just tighten it up again. And the way we're doing it is we're doing one side. Obviously, we're not doing it too tight, but we're just making sure that it's nice and tight, and then we're gonna go on to the other side. The other side has 2-inch blocks, and we're installing 4-inch tapered blocks. Also, another thing I forgot to mention is that the tapered portion, the taller part, is on the rear and the shorter part is on the front. So if you look at the block like this, it's going to look like that in order to kind of correct the pinion angle a little bit. I believe it's a 2-degree taper, so it's not pointing up like that, it's pointing it down by lifting the rear, kind of, if that makes sense. And yeah guys, I finally have jack stands. I never used jack stands, so I feel a little pro, but yeah. Blocks are on both sides, everything is nice and tight, but now you can see that these U-bolts are super duper long and there's thread right here. Don't leave them the way they are because you're gonna get stuck on literally everything, especially if you're running 15-inch wheels. If you're running like 18-inch wheel, something bigger, then these might have some clearance, but I would still recommend cutting them off. But like I'm running 15s, these are literally gonna sit like this far off the ground. So make sure that you put them on the truck, you got it tight, you got everything pretty much where you want it to be, and then cut them. Don't cut them and then try to thread on your nuts, because it's not gonna go in there and you're just gonna strip your nuts and it's not gonna be a good day. So make sure that your nuts are on there, your washers, everything's good to go. Have it nice and tight, pretty much like if you're gonna complete the job, and then just cut some excess off right there. All 8 of them, you can see. Just so when you go over speed bumps or you go into stuff, you don't get stuck on these, because these will get you stuck on stuff. Trust me, I found out the hard way. Alright guys, so the bolts are now all cut. Everything's good to go on the rear. Now I'm going to be lowering the front. So now we just got to put the rear end down, jack up the front, and then I'll show you guys where the torsion bolts are at. In order to lower the front, you're going to want to take the weight off of it, so you jack it up. You can even lower the front end without removing the wheels, but I'm going to be putting new wheels because these are, like I said, too tall and they're going to hit the fender. So you just want to make sure that the tire is off the ground and you can spin it by itself in order to be able to lower it, because you don't want to put too much stress on those bolts. Go under your driver's side door. If you have a king cab, I want to say right in the front door, just look for this little dot. Not a dot, but a hole. It's kind of hard to explain this, but you're going to want to find this. There's these bars that go connected. You can see right there in the center of the screen into the lower control arm. Right there. And you just follow it back and you're going to see it, and right about here, center of the screen. And there's a bolt, a long bolt, you can see it right there at the top. I have a wrench on top of it. There's 2 nuts up there. So in order to lower it, you want to make the top of that bolt, sorry, it's going to be kind of hard to explain, but there should be thread showing because your truck is stock. So the less thread there is up here, the lower it is. The more thread there is over here, the lower it is. So if you want to raise your truck up, you want to tighten this bolt up. I forgot to mention, there's a bolt right here, the long bolt. To lower it, you're going to want to loosen this, lefty-loosey. And to raise it up, you're going to want to do righty-tighty, so obviously go right. But we're trying to lower it, so we're making this go left. And if you try to turn that left, then the top's going to spin. So you have to get the top nuts wedged with a wrench. That's how you lower the front. It's super simple. I know a lot of people ask me, how do you lower the front? The front is pretty much free. What you're paying for usually is the rear, the blocks back there. Alright guys, so it's all lowered. You can see, yeah, maybe you can't see. So yeah, like I said, I loosened the torsion bar bolts all the way, and now they're hanging. So I'm probably gonna have to add some tension in there later, because the truck is sitting really low and it hasn't even settled. So once I'm gonna drive it around real quick, get it to settle, and then I feel like it's gonna be sitting on the tire, so I'm gonna have to raise it up a little bit. If it stays at this height, I don't mind it, but you can see where they at, right there. So yeah, if I go over a speed bump, that's just gonna get ripped off. So right here you can see with 4-inch blocks, it's sitting on the bump stops. Every truck is different because of your leaf springs, give or take on how much mileage they have on them. If your truck's really old and clapped out, then with 4-inch blocks, you're gonna be sitting on the bump stops. If your leaves are still good, then you're gonna have some gap in there. That's just how it is. So that's pretty much how you guys lower a truck. If you guys have any other questions, definitely leave them down below and I'll answer them. I just wanted to quickly mention that this truck is also lowered the same exact way, except this is lowered 2-inch or 4-inch blocks on the rear with a redrill, and the front is just torsion bars, and you can see that it's really low. It's gonna focus. So this is just to show you guys that lowering blocks can get you low. I know there's a lot of people that say that lowering blocks don't get you low, and if you want lower to go with bags or different things like that, but gotta say, man, blocks go pretty low. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot more work coming for the hard body and the 720. The 720 is gonna be getting a carpet kit, so I'm gonna be making the interior on that truck look really nice. Sorry for the wind noise. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it useful, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, guys.